It's been a year, a tough year for craft breweries in the state of Arizona, as well as the organization that represents all breweries, the Craft Brewers Guild. So they want to help themselves raise some money so they can survive. We're going to talk about that on the Brewmance on the radio here on 550 KFY. Thank you for having a drink with us. That's what we do. We rally around a drink and have conversations. Mike actually has an alcoholic drink.
I do.
The camera. What do you got, Mike?
I got Lolo Hazy IPA from Huss, only 109 calories. I know it's 2 weeks in a row with Huss, but they were the most accessible low cal beer, which I'm going with for this month. So very excited to try this. I don't know how you can make low cal hazy, but we're just going to give it a try.
I'm excited to try that beer. I've not been drinking for the last almost 2 months.
Sorry.
So at the end of February, my 60 days of non-drinking are going to come to an end. So I'm very much looking forward to March.
So are we.
In the meantime, sticking with Seedlip non-alcoholic gin because I have some left and it's $30. So let's finish it up right here on the Brewmance on the radio. Today I'm going to make a non-alcoholic gin and juice.
Oh, now we're going to be singing that damn song, aren't we?
You know it.
That's all we're going to be singing.
Double G would be very
gin
happy.
And juice.
Would you want to sit down? Who would you want to sit down with and have a drink with? What famous person?
Oh, famous person. Okay.
Yeah. Because obviously we just lost a radio legend this past week in Rush Limbaugh. It would have been fascinating to sit down with Rush, not just to talk about from a broadcast standpoint how amazing he was as a broadcaster, but being the best in your field.
He was the GOAT.
He was. How often do you get to talk to the best person in their profession?
Yeah. So, okay, well, answer the question. Was it Snoop is yours? It's not yours. I know it's Andre 3 Stacks.
Snoop D-O double G.
Come on, you know it'd be Andre 3000.
Oh, I'd love to sit down with Andre 3000 from Outcast all day, every day. Let's do this.
All day, every day.
Listening? Hey, boy, you listening? Let's go.
I will be your roommate. Let's have a podcast.
I know. We should invite him on the podcast.
All right.
I'll reach out.
Okay.
But we're going to try anyways.
And we're going to make it happen. So Rebuild the Guild Hazy IPA is actually a thing. The Arizona Craft Brewers Guild is basically a lobbying organization for the industry. And Rebuild the Guild Hazy has launched to raise money for the guild, which suffered during the COVID-19.
Because they get dues from breweries.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the main sort of legislative arm of the Breweries Association. So they go to the lawmakers and they say, hey, we need to expand production. They did this a couple of years ago. And they said, well, only, I think it was 30,000 gallons of beer. And if you exceeded that, you couldn't be considered a microbrewery anymore, craft brewery. So the guild got that doubled. And it allowed up to 6 brewery locations in that legislation, which the governor actually did good things back then before COVID, got that done. That's why you see State 48, I think, has 5 or 6 locations. That was their game plan. They started in Surprise. Then they opened other locations, downtown Phoenix, Scottsdale, a couple of other places as well, to take advantage of the new laws. It was a really smart way to go about expanding local businesses, craft breweries. So that's kind of what the guild does, but without having a lot of funding coming in, they're like, you know what we do? We should turn to the breweries to make us beer. Great idea.
Yeah, and Dragoon Brewing Company down in Tucson, the head brewer Eric Green came up with the recipe, made a few tweaks, and they're going to move. They're moving full steam with it. I just think that the guild actually needs to use this to their advantage. Now I'm not talking about selling. Oh, we made another $1 because another beer was sold. We made another $1 because another beer was sold. That's not good business. They need to use this time to reinvent themselves, to rebrand themselves, to share those stories instead of just, we need it. It's giving them the look of a charity, and I don't like it. It's like they're a charitable case. Like they need help financially because they're struggling, so we have to raise money for them and raise awareness. I think the guild should be doing that in talking about the awesomeness that they have brought to the Valley and what their plans are moving forward, how they can be instrumental in moving our craft beer industry forward. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I like that because that is what's going to encourage people to buy more beer. Because if that's the way to help people, and maybe it's take donations. We here at the Brewmance, we sold some shirts, and we were able to donate to the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild Association. Thanks to you guys that went on to brewmance.beer and bought some of our shirts, our No Fake Brews t-shirts. So that was kind of fun to be able to do that, but obviously the amount we were able to help, they need more help. So they're trying to raise $80,000 on this, but I think that's exactly right. They've helped turn Arizona into a craft beer destination, a place with some of the best beers that I've ever had. And I've traveled, I don't know how many different states, over 30, and some of which I've had craft beers in, some of which I'm like, these beers are pretty good. Because Arizona keeps right up with them. Our brewers here are fantastic mad scientists who make great concoctions for us to enjoy.
They do. I'm encouraging the guild. I'm not a fan of this. We did a collaboration beer and we're going to raise $80,000 for our organization. I don't like that. And here's why I don't like that is I want my dollars going directly to the actual brewers themselves. The Craft Brewers Guild needs to take this time to say, we are going to help pull this industry out of the COVID tanks. We, the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild, are going to be instrumental in doing that by doing this, and this, not raising $80,000. You and I know, Rob, as small business owners, how fast you can burn through $80,000. Yeah. What's $80,000 going to do? I'm not a fan. I just need them. I need Rob Fulmer to step up and say, here is our grand plan. Here's our grand post-COVID plan. Here's what I've been doing with Ducey. Here's what I've been doing with all the powers that be here in the state, all of our alcohol overlords, the distributors and the brewers. We've come up with this great, amazing plan. Let's move forward, start paying your dues again, and pull yourself out of this, not selling beer. I think it's a bad look. That's just my opinion.
I disagree, but I agree that this is not a great communication strategy that the guild is employing to get the message out. Because I don't know what they're relying on. I don't know what happened. They stopped reaching out to us a while ago. So I don't know if politics got involved in that because of what we do as our day job. I don't know. That's an assumption. I haven't necessarily reached out either to see if we can help out. But at the same time, it's really their job. That's what their gig is. So I can at least get on the page with that. But at least they're trying something. We'll see if it's effective. Because 20 breweries across the state are joining the cause to try to sell this beer, which is mango and vanilla hazy IPA. Right up your alley, Mike.
Yeah, this low-cal IPA is about as hazy as I really want to get. I don't know what happened. I don't know who flipped the switch on my hazy love. I don't know what the heck happened. Somebody turned it off. There's some genetic tweak that happened in my body where I'm like, hazy's, man, I don't know what happened.
Overexposure. But a
hanging out with you
juice is pretty good.
It's like hanging out with you, man. We were drinking all hazies.
Oh, I think I got over it. Hanging out with you. I'm kind of good. I'm like, hey, way to break that news. So
live
on the Brewmance. Guess what? We're not hanging out anymore. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So there's a website called 10best. 10best.com. They are asking for your picks for the best American craft beer scene. So speaking of, we want to show Arizona some love on this. So they have categories: best beer bar, best beer city, Phoenix.
Yes.
Best beer garden. I mean, you could even say Flagstaff's a great beer city because of the quality of beer. In such a small town, your gateway to the Grand Canyon. Even Tucson has some phenomenal breweries. Best beer garden is a category. Best beer label. We got some phenomenal beer labels.
We do. Ooh, I like that. I like the best beer label.
Best new brewery. Best small town beer scene. There you go. Flagstaff. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Tucson coming up too. So we'll say, yeah, I like this. Get over there. What, 10best.com?
Yes, 10best.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to have to post that on the social website media things.
Those things.
Yeah.
But you can follow us on Instagram at _Brewmance, Facebook.com/Brewmance, and then Brewmance.beer is the website. You want to send us a note? It's cheers@Brewmance.beer. We'd love to hear from you. What are you drinking? What are you hanging out with? What is getting you going and getting you through the pandemic if you're still thinking about it?
And how about your thoughts? How about your thoughts on how the craft beer industry here in Arizona moves past COVID, goes into a post-COVID world? How do they pull out of the pit? How do they get back to prominence? And like, what do you think? What do you think they should do? We'll pass it along.
I love that there's plenty of cans. We've talked about this quite a bit in some of the big box stores that you can go get next to your big brewers too. So that's fantastic. I think one of the things that drives a lot of traffic is specialty brews, right? You gotta have your solid core. But one way to get people out of their homes, oh yeah, I got to go visit Wren House. Oh yeah, I got to go visit Saddle Mountain. I got to go, if you haven't done it in a while, what's going to entice you to get out there and do it?
I think specialty brews I like. We don't need to have like Fruity Pebbles beer and whatnot. I don't think it's going to take a lot of people. Get a lot of attention. We have people coming into the valley here very soon as spring training is opening back up. It's how you lock them into an Arizona style craft beer. I'm telling you, you get those out there. You people want to drink local when they're here. They want to buy the t-shirts. They want Arizona. They want to come to Arizona and experience Arizona. They don't want to come to Arizona and experience a Count Chocula Stout.
No, but that's a great point. With the new influx of visitors, even though there'll only be 25% capacity at spring training stadiums, you might want to think about your advertising strategies too, trying to reach out to those people on the IG. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. But next, the Dancing Queen in California shuts down a brewery incorrectly and celebrates. We'll tell you all about her coming up on the Brewmance on the radio, 550 KFY.
Oh, feel that. Yeah. I'm not going to apologize. I like ABBA. I dig this song. You are the, come on. Everybody come sing with me. No, Rob's not going to sing with me. You don't like ABBA? Maybe it's that I have a daughter that plays this stuff all the time. I think that's what it is. So I'm just like, I know it makes her happy.
You let your daughter play ABBA?
My daughter has the most eclectic taste in music you're probably going to ever see. Yeah. And she jams to some ABBA.
ABBA's older than us, and she's listening to it.
I took her to Zia Records. Right by your pad a while back.
That's
and
right.
I got her Doors. I got her Doors album. I got her some old school stuff that I thought she'd like. No, I didn't. Okay. Maybe Uncle Rob can get her some Outcast albums. That's it. Okay. She got a record player for. Hey, welcome to the Brewmance. This is Arizona's only craft beer radio show, not dumb songs and albums radio show. Each and every week, we grab a drink of the week. We have to say drink of the week because Rob's doing something different. I'm going with the Low Hazy IPA. I'm doing light beers, light local as I can, light local beers all month. So this is by Huss, the Hazy IPA, only 109 calories. Rob has an entirely different song playing in his head because you're drinking what, my man?
Gin and juice.
There you go.
Laying back with some non-alcoholic gin and some orange juice mixed together. Seedlip is the gin, pretty solid. I reviewed it last week with a gin and tonic. This week we're going to try it with a gin and juice. See how it goes down.
Yeah. So now, why did we open this with some ABBA on the Dancing Queen? Because there was a health inspector in Los Angeles that went into a brewery, shut them down, informed them, "You are shut down. You are not meeting our COVID standards." As she was waiting for, I don't know what she was waiting for, maybe some signed documents for them to sign some documentation. Security camera has her dancing in the middle of the brewery, getting her groove on in the middle, like she just did something cool. Like she just feels really good about herself. So much so that she just can't stop dancing on camera. She doesn't know she's on camera, obviously, but she feels pretty good about herself. And what it turns out to have happened, this was on Super Bowl weekend. It ruined their Super Bowl business that they were going to bring in, and she was wrong, and they're still open.
Wow.
Yeah. Feel good about yourself, sister?
Probably.
Yeah. Oh.
It's for the health and wellness of the people.
Gotta die.
And this is the problem.
Ooh, the health inspector Karen.
Yes, she is the 100% health inspector Karen.
Oh, I like that.
My big issue with the power in this country is just that. Who's checking and balancing this one? Why has she not been fired? She cost a business thousands and thousands of dollars because of her own mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And great, okay, we all make mistakes, that's fine. But when you cost a business thousands and thousands of dollars, potentially jobs down the line, why is your job not at risk? Because clearly you didn't follow the fine details, especially in the time of COVID. Every business has struggled except for Amazon, Walmart, and Costco, basically. Every mom and pop store, every small business has had government ordinances in the way of them operating. So, for example, in Arizona, we still have 50% capacity for restaurants. That's a major impact on a business. Major impact. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people are going out and enjoying themselves. But for this woman to be standing there underneath the order here sign, dancing, I know, right? She shut down a business is just insanity to me.
But it shows what's going on. It shows that there's essentially two teams. And of course, there's that old joke. There's only two people in this world: those who love ABBA, those who don't. Or those who love ABBA and those who are wrong. Mm. And there seems to be two teams: those that have bought whole hog into, we need to legislate our way through this. We need to rule with an iron fist to crush the virus, or I need to keep my business open. So I'm going to do everything I can to the mitigation efforts. I'm going to follow all of the rules as best I can, but I do need to have some cash coming into the till as much as I can. It's two separate teams. And the other team, the one with the dancing queen, just seems so very proud of themselves. When the small business team just seems to be, I made it through the day. I think that's reason to dance. I made it another week. You know what I did today? I made payroll today. My people still have a job today. That's something to dance over. These people are like, I shut down a business and dancing away to it. It's unreal.
Laura, who owns Saddle Mountain Brewing with her husband, talked about that on one of our podcasts, which you can find on the iHeartRadio app. You can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And if you go back and listen to that, she talked about the struggles of being a business owner during COVID, being a restaurant owner. Because at first, she said everybody was fantastic. People were rolling down to Saddle Mountain. They were getting their to-go orders, filling up their crowlers and their growlers. Exactly.
A lot.
But after the excitement kind of wears down, people start getting into new routines. And she said there were some days that the restaurant made $700. Like that was the sales total. That was not profit. She says it cost me obviously more than that to operate the business every single
for the day. Yeah, right.
And I remember being a server once, and I saw a lot of people complaining about this because of something recently. I made $4 today. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes when you're a server. I worked a shift at the Olive Garden when I was after my first radio job.
Yes.
Where I had one table. I made $6. I had to sit there for like 3 hours just in case someone else came in. I made $6 that day.
Nice.
But that's just the reality. It sucks.
And there's days you made a couple hundred.
Yeah, exactly right. Mm-hmm. So they were luckily able to plan ahead and have some reserves to be able to pay the bills, the electric bill, the staff, et cetera, that cost them more than $700. And thankfully, even at 50% capacity, they've been back into the black more often.
They've been crushing out there. It's been absolutely awesome to watch them. We go to the patio, and especially now, it's so nice weather. Man, their patio is awesome. As a matter of fact, I'm going on to best10.com, and I'm going to put best patio atmosphere for my people over there at Saddle Mountain, because that is just nice.
West Side's got things going on, even though it's been forgotten by many.
West Side. Mm-hmm. I tried to do the W on the thing, and I almost flipped everyone off. So let me try that again. There we go, West Side.
He lives on the West Side.
Sorry.
The West Side.
Well,
over here.
I was fumbling. That's it. All right. Let's talk about Egypt.
Egypt.
Yes.
You posted this great picture at the _Brewmance on Instagram, which was awesome. What is
which
this
one?
Thing? This story, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Ancient.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is the most ancient brewery has been uncovered. That's right. This is we're talking about a mass brewery, not just I think there was a story a few weeks ago in Missouri where they had these beer caves during Prohibition or during I don't know, pioneer times, whenever the heck it was. We're talking about ancient Egypt beer factory. They said they could have done this is about 5,000 years old. So we're talking a long time ago, if my math is correct. And they could have put out 5,000 gallons of beer at a time.
Yes.
5,000 gallons of beer at a time.
The ancient Egyptians knew how to get down.
Yes, they did.
That's fantastic.
They drank it with their meals. This was something that the estimates were that it was about 3%. And that they drank this all the dang time. This was their hydration in most cases.
Yeah. Well, even if you look at American history, there was more water. There was actually more beer and wine than water on the Mayflower. Part of the reason why is you couldn't drink water. You couldn't just you didn't have a running water system all over the world, especially you're sailing across the ocean. So they were like, all right, this is a 3-month journey. Let's get sloshed as much as possible because there's nothing else to do. And America was literally founded on the drink.
That's right.
Founding fathers, everybody was drinking hard cider every single day. I mean, this was the way of the world back then, especially before filtration systems. Like, all right, let's make this thing and let's drink it.
So you look at 5,000 gallon beer capacity in a brewery in Egypt, pyramids. Now I'm more convinced than ever it was aliens. It was all aliens because they have it going on. They got it right.
Maybe that's our contribution to aliens. So maybe the aliens came down to build the pyramids.
Great idea.
Beer.
Yes.
Okay, we got beer. Build us a pyramid.
Hey, let's make a trade. Let's come on. Let's be friends here. Let's make a trade. We want something really crazy for our leaders. I mean, not like crazy. I mean, forget about these little headstone things and whatnot. I mean, big. If you can do that, we're going to send you home with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5,000 gallons of our best IPA.
Worth it the trip thousands of light years. Totally worth the trip. Beer better have been good. Better have been an IPA.
I'm sure it's fantastic. It makes you want to try what it tastes like. I really would want to know what that tasted like back then.
Egyptian Pale Ale, a new category of beer.
Something.
EPA.
Oh, EPAs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or APAs, Alien Pale Ale.
There you go. There you go. Or Egypt Pale Ale. EPA.
Oh, I like that even.
Yeah.
Speaking
of which, did you
pale
see
alien.
Pentagon
That's insulting.
This week?
What?
They said that they admitted that they've found some materials not from Earth, including a metal that you could bend, and then after a while go back to its original shape. I'm telling you, that's what. Not only did the aliens build the pyramids, they helped us get the stealth technology we use today.
So maybe it's going to be an ultimate battle a few years from now, aliens versus artificial intelligence. And we just get to sit back and watch them fight it out.
Like, okay, hope.
Sign me. I'm going to buy my tickets now. I'm buying my tickets. Yeah.
Either the AI is going to be our overlord or the aliens.
Like Perry Farrell said, we'd make great pets.
Oh. I don't want to think about that.
Are you kidding me? I'd come back as Django or Boba, my two dogs. I want that life all day long.
Because he spoils his dogs. In a moment, spring training starting here in the Valley. We'll tell you the details next on 550 KFYI. Spring training is back here in the Valley. Pandemic be damned. There are some limits, but we are going to see baseball here in the spring in the Valley. Welcome to the Brewmance on the Radio, Arizona's only craft beer radio show. My name is Rob Hunter, joined by Mike Russell. We gather around a beverage, usually a beer. But sometimes we throw curveballs into that operation. Mike, though, this week is drinking beer. Mike, what do you got?
Doing local and low-cal. We're doing light beers this month, and this is the Low Hazy IPA by Huss Brewing. Only 109 calories, so have two.
Why not?
What you got
Total
going,
take for the day, 218 calories. Not bad. I'm going with Seedlip non-alcoholic gin. I drank this last week. Last week I had a gin and tonic. This week I'm doing some gin and juice, some OJ, and some gin.
Can't beat that. The only way you can beat that is if you're drinking it at a spring training facility.
Which actually is perfect timing because I will start drinking again right around the time spring training starts. I'll go like 60 days without some alcohol, and then it'll be 60 days towards the 1st of March. So I'll be ready to rock and roll. So it looks like your Dodgers, Mike Russell.
That's right.
First spring training game is March 1st.
Absolutely unapologetic about being a Dodger fan. I know here in the Valley, you guys are still upset about the pool incident, but whatever. They weren't the first people to pee in that pool, I promise. So here's the gig. I grew up generation Dodger fan.
Yeah.
I've waited 30 years for a World Series. We have it. I don't care what they're charging for tickets. We got them. I don't care if they're charging for beers. I'm going to drink it. I'm going to have a good time. They say I don't have to wear a mask if I'm eating or drinking. I will eat and drink the entire time that I'm there. I won't stop. Every time someone comes up to me, the minute they say, hey, you need to, I'm going to stuff a hot dog in my mouth and just stare at them. What?
Which is the whole, whatever. I mean, the science is different than what the people are saying, but that's besides the point because you can't have that conversation anymore without people calling you names. It just is what it is.
True.
I think I'm curious about the prices because I haven't really looked yet because I know that there's 25% capacity, so that reduces the number of tickets. And for like example, you as a Dodgers fan, there's going to be tons of Dodgers fans here in the Valley and from LA and from elsewhere that want to go see the World Series champs. But if there's only 2,000 tickets available per game, might be too pricey for me.
Now, I didn't look, so I just hit go. I'll figure that out once.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I was gonna go. There's no way I'm not. 30 years we've waited for this, and I get to see the World Series champs, my World Series champs, and the fam gets to. The kids all have their jerseys. We all have our jerseys. It's just it's a family thing, and we just went and got it, and we just did it. We're going to at least go to one game. Hopefully, we'll catch another game in a different stadium, and we'll see if we can at least catch two. But we did get the MLB package, so we can even watch the spring training games this year.
Are you going to get out to Dodger Stadium during the regular season?
100%.
But that's an interesting question because they have different rules. California does than Arizona. So obviously they decided 25% capacity is where we're at right now. Even though all the stadiums are outdoor, even though there's very little evidence to show that COVID spreads outside, doesn't matter. So 25%, there's going to be some social distancing. You can put 25% on the lawn in most cases, and it would still be fine.
That's where I hang out anyway.
I don't make the rules. I don't, I would be just let people decide. Do you want to go? Like Florida's do it. You want to go? You get to make that decision.
Yeah.
You're on your own. If it's risky for you, don't go. But I'm curious in California, because you look at Florida, for example, Disney World open. Disneyland, California, not allowed to be open.
Nope.
So when the Dodgers' first game is in April, in that stadium, are they going to let people in?
I doubt it. And the sad thing is that's what my sister and I were going to do because we grew up Dodgers fans. We were going to go to opening day. And I don't think that's going to happen, or I don't think it's going to be possible. So we might have to go to maybe just the Dodgers' first game here or something like that and call it a day.
And I'm curious too what the rules will be. I mean, you imagine if 25% can go to spring training, 25% can go to what is it called? Chase Park.
We would
Chase
hope.
Field now.
Yeah, we would hope.
But we'll see.
It's not Bob anymore.
I know the original Bob,
mm-hmm.
But it's just crazy too. Just you're now talking a year. Next month will be a year. Halfway through spring training, it was, we're canceling the rest of the games. You went to the last game.
At that game, that's right. Yeah. It got called in I think it got called in the 6th or the 7th because of rain, and spring training never happened again.
Rained out forever.
There was no joy in Mudville that evening.
It's like, dang.
It was terrible.
But it really puts a nice, when you think about an entire year, you think about 365 days of impact from a virus. Of all the things that you maybe wanted to do in 2020 into 2021, whether that's high school graduation. We don't know if those are going to happen this year.
Probably
it's
not.
Just nuts to think about all that has been impacted. There hasn't been a major concert in a year. There hasn't been a major sporting event attended outside of the Super Bowl in Tampa, which only allowed half capacity in the stadium still in a whole year. It's nuts. Makes you want to drink.
Yes. And something a little more intense than the Lolo Hazy IPA, but I do like the Hazy Lolo IPA in a baseball setting. I wonder if this could be on tap at one of the stadiums. Hint.
But that's a great point too, because you have to think about, you have breweries that make beer for the stadiums to sell local beer. The stadium out by you in Goodyear features tons of local craft beers, and Saddle Mountain Brewing and made a beer for that stadium. It's like, okay, how much do they make this year? Do they make less? And how does that impact their bottom line?
I forgot.
Yeah.
It's that time of year again.
Mm-hmm.
643's coming out again. Yes. Yes. One of my favorite beers. They make it seasonally for spring training, and I will be participating. I'll go to the Reds games. I will go to the Indians games. I will go to that stadium just to drink that beer out tap.
I just want to see the prices.
Will you stop with the prices already?
I'm not going to pay $100.
Will you stop with the prices?
I got like a $25 limit.
How about this? How about if I buy you a ticket, you buy beer?
All right, deal.
Okay, deal. See? That's how we do it.
What if the boss will let us come in before we do our afternoon show, Russell and Hunter? If we go, all right, we're going to go for like 4 innings. We'll be back at 3 o'clock, ready to go for 4. Probably not.
He would say, yeah, you take me.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
We're going to go. What we like to call
show prep.
Business show prep.
Yes.
Preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So we'll see how this all goes. I'm very curious to see, because the numbers are going in the downward direction prior to spring training too. So I want that trend to continue, so everybody's happy. We'll see how.
Well, the spring training people tried to get Major League Baseball to postpone spring training, and they said no. Actually, they didn't say no. It was the Players Association that said no.
Are they still? Are they going to do a full season this year? 162 games.
I think it's 140 something. I don't know. Maybe abbreviated ish. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you, even last year's 60 game season, I was exhausted. I think we watched almost every game. I don't think we missed. We didn't miss 3 games. I think
I did that 03
yeah.
Red Sox before they won the World Series, because I was actually producing Red Sox baseball up in Boston. So I was running the weekend games. I think of the 162 games, I think I watched at least 2 innings of 140 of those.
Nice.
And then there was games and more, and I'd run them on the weekend. Oh, it was great. It was a great time.
That's right.
And then 04 was the same thing, because it was like, oh, they got demolished by the Yankees again. 2004, you get all hope renewed, just like you did last year. You get hope renewed after losing, and you're like, this is going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Because we kept going to the damn World Series and not winning it. That's what happened to us.
You want to be the Buffalo Bills?
No.
You don't want to
we came close.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dodgers re-signed Justin Turner, which was a surprise after they signed the pitcher for like $40 million.
LeBron, baby, we're going. Come on.
New York Yankees, buy your championships, but who cares?
Here we go, buy the championships. Let's compare the Red Sox and the Dodgers payroll.
Why are you so different?
See, that's what I'm saying. Because that's all I hear from all these D-backs fans. Oh, you're buying championships. We're investing in success. How about that? I want to invest in success.
That's the way.
Just because you got a cheap organization doesn't mean that
that's just the way the world works.
Keep finishing fourth. It's all good with me.
If you brought fans into the stadium and filled it up every time, you get more money, more revenue, and you could spend money on championships.
That's right. Dodgers have just crushed attendance records all the time. They're always in the top 5 for attendance nationwide. That's a lot of dough.
It is a lot of dough. Luxury tax, who cares? Let's just pay this stuff.
Luxury tax.
It's an American success story, too. Power through the pandemic.
That's right.
And keep doing what you're doing.
Win, baby.
Championship.
Yeah, and even when you win, your third baseman was pulled in the 8th inning because he got positive COVID test. Bring him back out on the field for celebrations. Let's do it.
I'm curious to see what the COVID protocols will be this year, because I know hockey's did things way differently, where the teams are playing like another team. Like the Yotes played the St. Louis Blues for 7 games in a row, like a playoff series, because it reduces the travel. I wonder if baseball is going to do the same kind of thing.
Well, I think that it's going to be a lot more like the real way this season than it was last season. So that's just a step. It's fine. Is it going to be perfect? No, but a step definitely.
Yeah, but we need any type of normalcy that we can get, because it obviously helps, because it almost, at this point, almost a year in, forgets what normal feels like. This seems normal now, and I don't like this normal.
No. You will see. You will keep getting little glimpses, like baseball season will bring you, like next football season will bring you. It'll keep giving you little glimpses of what normal really is, and it'll remind you, oh, this plus a good craft beer plus sunshine plus family and atmosphere. Wow, that's the way life used to be. Thank you, baseball, for bringing it back to us.
Yes. So go get your tickets, regardless of the price, because you haven't had to go out for the last year. So maybe it's time to just splurge a little bit.
Treat yourself.
In a moment, we'll treat ourselves to review our drinks. Hope you'll follow along with us on the Brewmance on the radio here on 550 KFYI.
Why not get litigious with your craft beer? That's right. It is all about the pour. I'm starting again. I'm sorry, because I just said Russell Hunter. God dang it. Here we go. All right. I'll put it at the timer too. Here we go. Do it again. This 2 times I have to edit this freaking video. All right, right here we go. All right, ready?
Yep.
And 3, 2, and 1. Craft beer plus litigation. Why not? It's all about the pour. Welcome to Brewmance on the Radio, Arizona's only craft beer radio show. Each and every week, we grab beers or drinks of the week. I'm going with the low-cal edition of the local beers. This is Huss's Low Hazy IPA. We're going to review that for you in just moments. Rob is going on pour number 2. You lush.
Going big on the non-alcoholic gin and juice. Snoop would be so proud.
He would definitely be proud on that. How many calories does the OJ have in it? That's what I want to know.
This OJ has 160 calories. See, it pays to drink low-calorie beer because OJ has more calories.
109 in the low. But how many servings are in that? That's 109. That's one something per serving. How many? Oh, just one. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Well, still.
One size.
Still, I win.
At least they don't do that.
I win.
There's 4 servings in this bottle. That. No, there isn't.
4.67. So what? You guys
everybody lie to us. It's so annoying. Garbage. Stop lying about everything. I'm just gonna finish this.
Check this out. There was a lawsuit against Red Robin. Yum. For failing to pour full pints of beer, essentially short filling their pints, and the judge just took dad jokes to an entirely new level, writing, because Red Robin's figures are mostly foam, it failed to satisfy the class action fairness act jurisdiction among controversy threshold. I grant them motion. So that's obviously legal terms for some other thing. But the guy just went on and on for legal jargon with foam and beer and head and whatnot. Here's the problem with that. I think this is a serious thing, because if you are pouring improperly, you're not giving me what I paid for. I do appreciate Starbucks because when I go to Starbucks, I'm spilling it all over my truck. Why am I spilling it all over my truck? Because they fill it to the tippy top. If you're going to spend $3 for a cup of coffee, they are going to make sure that they give you as much coffee as you can for that $3, and that I appreciate.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man. What?
On beer?
Oh, okay. I think you're coming at me.
Yeah. No, I mean, come on, man. Red Robin promised me not to deliver to the class members, which would make up 12.5% of the purchase price. $2 million they're asking.
Woo!
Discounting must be done because the 2 million figure assumes that all 16 million in Stella sales or for 16-ounce glasses, despite the restaurant offering multiple sizes. So Red Robin, the judge says, distills this number down further in its response to the motion to remand. So at least there's some in the legal system that have senses of humor, because oftentimes they look down at us ne'er-do-wells as criminals.
That's right.
They are better than.
Especially beer drinkers.
Yes.
Yes. I was watching a show on Netflix, which was Chef's Table Barbecue. And they had an Australian guy in there. That the Australian guy did nothing. He cooked over fire in this very high-end restaurant. Everything is cooked over fire. Even salads. He put lettuce on the flame.
Really?
Like, oh, it's fantastic. But they had this Australian food critic, which was very, very she food critic. And he goes, you think one cooking over fire, you think surely he doesn't have shoes on. And cooking over fire, he most definitely has a beer in his hand. And went on. I'm like, man, snob much? I mean, he's right. I mean, I'm barbecuing. I do have shoes on. But yeah, I usually do have a beer, man.
But maybe that's the lesson that we can take from this week, because there were several people who celebrated Rush Limbaugh's death. Odd.
That is odd.
Often. Maybe we just stop with the judgment, because here's the funny thing about that. You're mad that Rush Limbaugh said some things in the past you didn't agree with, you didn't like, were hurtful, hateful, whatever that your interpretation of what he said was. You are doing the same thing he's doing. So you are no better than him. You are the same as him because you have put your insult back on him. So just keep that in mind if that's what you want to put out there in the world, that you claiming that Rush Limbaugh was beneath you, insult him, or whoever else dies that you disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it be.
Yeah.
Let that spirit pass on to the next realm.
Yeah, and if you were so hurt by something that somebody said, you were so damaged by words, can you imagine how the damage that person's family is going through,
right?
That their loved ones are going through? That's real hurt. That's real pain. Not something somebody said. Somebody's dead. I mean, like Joe Biden would say, there's an empty seat at the table kind of thing. That's a big hurt. Yep. And so just let it go. Move on. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Just move on.
Remember that old adage, still true. Just because you have Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat doesn't make that adage untrue. Because again, if you want to be better than Rush in your eyes or anyone else, be better than them. Don't resort to their level. Pretty simple.
They're making it your level, which is silly.
This is what we talk about over drinks. That's
we
why
really do.
Brewmance is here. We insult each other all day. No.
We honestly do insult each other all day, at least. That's
but when you're friends, sometimes your insults make you a better person.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, it's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I do that.
You do that.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Did we? Wait a second. We didn't even mention what we did this week. Yeah. Can I congratulate Rob Hunter on his first purchase of a AR-15? I am very proud of you.
I'm in the rifle club now.
The 6 Hour M400. Congratulations on that. M400, correct? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. The M400, and we went out to the range on Thursday, and we got that sucker sighted in, and he got to shoot his new boomstick. And let me tell you something. You can say what you can about ARs, but they are so much fun to shoot. That's why you have it, for funsies, to shoot. I like it for funsies.
And I don't know what the problem with that is.
No, there shouldn't be a problem.
But you see what we have in common here. The way the world works is there are people who handle their emotions and people who don't. And the people who don't, especially the severe types, want the world to revolve around not having those emotions. So they try to make the rules so that those emotions don't pop up. But unfortunately, or fortunately, the world doesn't work that way, because the world is not supposed to be easy. Life is not supposed to be easy. As much as we want it to be, you would never learn anything. You would never grow if life was easy.
And I got to tell you, I just like pulling my AR-15s out and just looking at them.
Yeah.
I was loading them.
You should be allowed to say that without, oh, you murderer.
I was looking at them when I was packing them up to go to the range, because I had two to sight in, and I honestly just stared at them. I set them side by side, and one's my daughter's, one's mine, and I stared at them. I think they're beautiful just wonderfully constructed pieces of machinery, and it's just, I think it's got a really cool look to it.
I got mine a week ago, and I've done that several times.
I love it.
Thank Mike, because Mike actually got me my first rifle case.
Yeah, that was more for me than it was for you. I couldn't have you showing up to the range on Thursday just holding an AR. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's with me. Sorry guys, he's with me. It's okay. New guy coming in. Yep. No, but I wanted to get that to you. Congratulations on your purchase, pal.
My favorite thing though is like the people who complain about cops or whatever, people that have AR-15s run around with cops with AR-15s. Like, I don't like these long guns. Why is that guy protecting you with a long gun?
That's right.
You're more important than me.
Yes. Yeah. Let's review some beer.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm starting because you did. Yeah. Okay. The 109 calorie low hazy IPA from Huss Brewing. Last week I did the Arizona Light Lager. And this week is different. I'm not a giant hazy fan anymore. Somebody flipped my hazy switch off and I don't know how to get it back on. This doesn't sit like hazy does. This isn't thick like hazy is. This is, if you like the hazies and you want something with a little more crafty taste than an Arizona Light Lager, I'm telling you, this low hazy IPA is pretty dang good. It really is. And the Arizona Light Lager, a great everyday beer for the weekend, grilling, that kind of thing, fishing, camping, that whole deal. This is a little more of a sipping light beer, and I do really enjoy it. And this thing is an easy 8.5. I really like it. Big fan.
Witnessing exactly why Huss is growing like they are, because they've carved out a nice lane for themselves with the Arizona Light Lager and with the low.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a low calorie craft option, you have it. You don't have to drink Miller Lite. You don't have to drink Michelob Ultra. You can drink a local craft beer that has the same calorie content as those big brewers make. And that's fantastic. And
I'm once again not a hazy guy, but this has just enough hazy to it where it's just a little citrusy, and it's a citrusy light beer. That's probably the best way to describe it. Citrusy light beer.
Trying that with a citrusy light beer next month.
All right, buddy.
Brewmance. Mine, gin and juice, non-alcoholic. I told you I like the Seedlip. It's a good gin replacement. Same thing here. It is very interesting to note that, as we mentioned before, if you heard us, 160 calories in this orange juice, less than the calorie content of the low. So that's pretty fantastic in and of itself. But I would just say this again that I said last week about this Seedlip. So if you're not a drinker and you used to like gin, this is a fantastic replacement. If you're out drinking gin and tonics or gin and juice and you want to take a spacer and the restaurant or bar has this, it's a good option for a spacer. Does a pretty good job as a gin replacement. Obviously, it's not gin. It doesn't quite have the same properties of gin, but it's pretty refreshing and pretty easy to drink. So I kind of dig it. And I'm ready to move back to the alcoholic spirits in a couple of weeks. But there is some more non-alcoholics to try. What do we got? One more week of that. So we'll see how that goes next week here on the Brewmance on the radio.
I'm going to keep drinking.
As you should.
Call me crazy. I'm going to keep drinking. Life's short. Keep drinking. So you can find us on Facebook.com/The Brewmance, and you can find us on Instagram @_Brewmance. Cheers to Brewmance.beers. If you want any comments, email us. Let us know. If you're a brewery, you know a brewer, you know some good beer you'd like us to have as the beer of the week, give us a shout. Let us know. We'll send you the details, and we'll get it all worked out.
Until next week, Saturday night, 6 to 7 p.m., Arizona's only craft beer radio show, The Brewmance, will be back at you right here on 550 KFYI.
Cheers, everybody.